Why This Matters, written and narrated by Peter J. Merrick. About 2 years ago, I was asked to write a chapter in a book about what I learned about myself during COVID and the years that followed. I recorded it today in my own voice and posted it here on YouTube. Please share your thoughts on this below. I am interested just because it matters. Thank you. What if this was the most significant moment in your life because what I am about to say, and you are about to miss it? This moment could redefine your life. What I am about to say holds immense significance, yet you're on the brink of missing it. Pause. Reflect on the weight of these words. Consider the impact they could have on your future. Don't let distraction steal this opportunity from you. Seize it now, for it might be the turning point you've been waiting for. In my life, once I asked a great question. What made it significant was not the actual question. What made it significant was the responses it elicited from me. Perhaps you have felt it, that there is something very wrong in the world today that surrounds us everywhere and you can't put your finger on it. But you need to act, to do something significant to correct the path we are on. In a world where uncertainty seems to be the new normal, the majority of us are unwittingly gripped by the normalcy bias. As the world undergoes rapid changes, crises, and challenges, it's easy to find comfort in the familiar, even when the signs of distress are all around us. The normalcy bias is a cognitive bias that leads individuals to underestimate the possibility of and often neglect to prepare for disasters or significant disruptions in the face of evidence, suggesting that such events are likely or imminent. It can result in a tendency to cling to a sense of normality and downplay the seriousness of unusual or catastrophic situations, potentially delaying necessary actions and preparedness measures. Amidst climate crises, political upheavals, global pandemics, and armed conflicts, many choose to maintain a semblance of normality, downplaying the urgency of these pressing issues. The normalcy bias allows us to carry on as if nothing is wrong, even when evidence suggests otherwise. But it's essential to acknowledge that burying our heads in the sand won't make these problems disappear. Recognizing the normalcy bias is the first step towards individual action and meaningful change. To survive what might be coming, we need to break free from this cognitive trap, confront the realities we face, and work together to create a better, more resilient world. There has been a significant crack in the matrix/social contract/status quo/reality during the past several years. This is the proverbial dead, decaying, smelly body in the room that everyone walks around and pretends is not there. We can no longer ignore it and try to sweep it under the rug. Over 100 years ago, U.S. Supreme Court Justice Louis D. Brandeis offered us the solution to this. Sunlight is said to be the best of disinfectants. We must not be afraid to discuss publicly what is wrong if we are to cure societal woes for both us and future generations yet to be born. I have a deep need for us to be completely honest and transparent with each other. I know that this is the only way to correct course and pull up from our current downward civilization spiral. The cure is for us all to be totally authentic with each other and state publicly what is very wrong with the world that surrounds us. Our reality manifests from two basic emotions, fear and love. Everything else is a derivative of the two. Fear is false evidence appearing real, while love is looking for good. Fear moves us away from what we don't want, and love moves us towards what nourishes life. I have come to know that The act of thinking and speaking in words has the power to change how we feel, what we think, and how we act in the world. Simply saying something has the power to change our world and to change the realities of those who hear our words. Words then do create reality. I'm also reminded that a question is infinitely more powerful, important, and impactful than its answer. A well-formed question presupposes that there is an answer within the framing of it. Our individual and collective survival and success in both the short and long term is founded on our ability and willingness to frame the right questions and to have the fortitude and strength of character to go down the rabbit hole to wherever our answers take us. As a response to these uncomfortable times, I felt I had no choice but to walk through the most difficult doors of inquiry, arming myself with one question, the most challenging I had ever asked of myself: why do I believe what I believe? It's a simple question, but equally profound. At first, it caused me great discomfort to question all my core beliefs and their underlying assumptions. By truthfully asking yourself the question, why do I believe what I believe? Your truthful response may change, awaken you forever, and set you on a deeper and more fulfilling path of inquiry towards truly being. Personally, I came up with 5 answers / justifications / reasons for myself for avoiding asking and answering this simple question. They were: 1. I followed unquestionably those in authority or positions of unearned influence. Parents / family / teachers / bosses / public figures / actors and other entertainers / regulators / government officials / scientists / corporate leaders / etc. That this was what reality was, and I should not spend too much time questioning the orthodoxy of what everyone else in my realms had accepted and / or promoted as the official reality. 2. I was too busy trying to make my way through society and achieving some sort of external status in my work, my relationships, my family, my community, and my society. 3. I was just too lazy to do my own research into what was real, authentically good, and right. It was much easier to accept what I was told was reality than to go against the grain. 4. I was too naive to ask the question. 5. I was too scared to go too deep down the rabbit hole, fearing ostracization and rejection for holding contrarian opinions and beliefs opposite from those held by most of the human herd. Armed with the question of why I believe what I believe going down the rabbit hole, I am reminded of the saying, people that live in glass houses should not throw stones. I would like to share some reflections of what I have discovered during my journey towards a little more self-awareness. There is an uncomfortable realization that often accompanies personal growth, recognizing our own hypocrisy. For much of my life, I was that person living in that glass house down the road. I was quick to throw stones at others without having any introspection or self-awareness. I was really throwing stones at my own glass house with many broken windows. I'd point fingers out at the world around me, be it the government, family members, strangers, authority figures, or at the other, berating them for their perceived flaws, all while I ignored my own. Here, I wish to admit and take ownership of all my hypocrisies. The moment we begin to externalize blame, we neglect an important truth about human nature. No one is without fault. Our focus on the flaws of others is often a defense mechanism, a way to divert attention from our own shortcomings. And I was a master of this diversion. For most of my life, I preached certain values and ideals, all while conveniently overlooking instances where my actions didn't align with those same beliefs. This wasn't intentional malevolence, but rather a subconscious effort to shield myself from the discomfort that comes with self-awareness. It wasn't until life offered its humbling lessons that I began to reflect inwardly. I came to understand that true empowerment comes after recognizing and owning our flaws, not from highlighting the faults in others. Perhaps Mahatma Gandhi said it best: if we want to see change in the world, we must first be that change. Before I acted as if admitting my hypocrisy was a sign of weakness. Now I see it as a testament to one's growth and evolving self-awareness. I'm not perfect, and at times I still find myself in old patterns of thought, but with each acknowledgement of my own contradictions, I aim to inch closer to accepting and owning every disappointment and flaw. If change is going to be, it is up to thee, not anyone else. There is no abdication of our responsibilities to others, and most importantly to ourselves. This journey towards self-awareness is lifelong and an effort. Yet, by owning our hypocrisy, we not only pave the way for personal growth, it also contributes to a more empathetic and understanding for the people and world around us. As I age, the more I appreciate things with chips, dents, and fractures. They are no longer broken items, but treasures that have endured, much like each of us. I invite everyone to join me in this journey. For in recognizing our own imperfections, we become more forgiving of those flaws in others. This understanding by no means means I won't step away or protect my house when stones are thrown my way. Awakening to reality is lonely. I can only share my perspective of this process over the past 30 plus years. Ever felt like the world isn't quite what it seemed? I've been on a journey no more unique than anyone else now. I wish to share what I've discovered helpful to describe the stages of waking up to oneself. I found there are 4 stages that help wake you up to see things in a new and liberating way. The concept of awakening has been symbolized by the red pill and blue pill in the movie The Matrix. But this model might not capture the entire spectrum of our evolving awareness. Building upon this analogy, we can envision a more comprehensive journey through 4 distinct stages: the blue pill, the red pill, the black pill, and the white pill. The blue pill, embracing ignorance. At this stage, we are faced with the choice represented by the blue pill: to remain asleep, accepting societal norms and unquestioning authority. Individuals who choose this path sense something is wrong in their reality, yet they willingly ignore it. They trust that doctors, governments, and institutions have their best interests at heart. This stage reflects a desire for security and comfort, even at the cost of turning a blind eye to underlying evils. The red pill, questioning reality. The red pill signifies the transition from ignorance to curiosity. People taking this step become aware of contradictions and paradoxes in their beliefs, prompting them to question the reality they've known. This stage requires a mature perspective and the willingness to venture down the rabbit hole, even if it challenges one's preconceived notions. The red-pilled individual breaks free from the confines of conformity and begins a transformative journey towards greater awareness. The black pill, confronting darkness. As individuals dig deeper into the complexities of their awakened reality, they may encounter the black pill stage. Here, they confront the harsh truth of a world filled with deception, corruption, and evil. This realization can be overwhelming, leading to feelings of helplessness and despair. This stage reflects the difficulty of coming face to face with a reality that contradicts the narratives we've been fed. It's a phase of reckoning with the sinister forces at play. The white pill, reclaiming sovereignty. From the depths of the black pill emerges the white pill, the stage of empowerment and self-ownership. Those who embrace the white pill recognize that they hold the power to shape their perceptions and actions. They understand that external influences are rooted in fear and can be overcome. In this stage, individuals refuse to be bound by societal constructs, choosing instead to co-create their reality aligned with natural law. The white-pilled person stands as a beacon of positive change, living their truth and inspiring others to do the same. It is an ongoing journey requiring questioning, reflection, and growth. Next, let's begin to explore the power of our words. Almost all self-actualized individuals I have ever met or read about are life learners, well-spoken and literate, asking whether we are mindful of what we say or what we unconsciously accept as reality is our first step forward towards our enlightenment, followed by taking back our own sovereignty over ourselves and lives. Here I am reminded of Plato's famous allegory of the cave. Plato wrote about prisoners in a cave watching shadows on the wall that they accept as real. One prisoner frees himself of his shackles, leaves the cave, and sees the sun for the very first time. He then returns to the darkness, temporarily blinded by the sun's brilliance. He tells his fellow prisoners what he has witnessed and experienced. The other prisoners think he is crazy, yet he knows they live a life of illusion and denial that they are not ready to question. Knowing there is something much greater out there in the world, the freed prisoner is bound by his need to be a free man and to help others who are prepared to break free from their self-inflicted mental chains. I believe that the moral of this allegory is that we all have the responsibility to speak our truths. We must be honest about our reality, no matter how uncomfortable or detrimental that may be in the short term. Our truths are our power. There will always be an audience for our truths. Remember, the game ends only when we are dead. Weakness occurs when we look for quick fixes to fundamental problems. You wouldn't have embarked on your life's adventure at this stage of your life if you did not believe that adversity breeds self-reliance. Long ago, I learned that the use of big words was for catching, not throwing, meaning that the goal for developing a vast vocabulary should only be to broaden your knowledge base and listen more intently. Big words should only be used sparingly and consciously when communicating with other people. Too many times large or specialized words are used to divide and to separate people, not bring them together. Our goal should be to elevate, not to denigrate others when we speak. What most of us do not give much conscious weight to is that words have hidden meaning/knowledge attached to them. Perhaps the process of using some words was to hide certain knowledge that might have been purposely done by darker forces to hide their true intentions and prevent us from knowing the true secrets of the universe. Specialized groups within society, such as doctors, scientists, lawyers, politicians, elites, and secret societies can and do use words to hide information in plain sight. One of the reasons to hide information in this way is to prevent and trick you from stopping them from violating your free will. Another devious intention for hiding information within words is that there are some nefarious entities in this world that gain satisfaction in telling you how they are profiting, and what they have in store for you. Hollywood is a great example of this. Many movies have images and words with occult meanings embedded in them to deceive you, to give up your natural rights through silence. By being silent, you choose not to exercise your natural rights. And by asking the question, why I believe what I believe, one's brain restarts. With this, you can begin freeing yourself from your unconscious mental, emotional, and spiritual chains. Once you were not aware that they had been placed on you before your birth. The good news is that you cannot truly give up your natural rights for the reason that your natural rights will always be there, just like the laws of nature. For example, when you watch a Hollywood movie or are exposed to a gory video game that touches upon human trafficking, killing, wars, or worse, and do not say something to remove your consent, you unknowingly agree through your silence. Therefore, the dark forces did not really violate your free will. This is how the dark forces and the dark magicians get away with most of their evil deeds. Ignorance is no excuse, and silence implies consent. In the information and computer age, there is no excuse for not knowing these things, especially if you live in a country that has easy access to the internet. With a few well-placed clicks / queries / questions in search engines other than Google will bring you closer to the truth. To be more accurate, being silent is known as giving your implied consent. If enough of us remove our consent, the dark forces and their minions would have to back off and leave us alone. If they were to not leave us alone and keep harassing us, they would violate our free will and would have to eventually face the consequences for their actions. As Sir Isaac Newton observed in nature, for every action there is an equal reaction. All thoughts, intentions, and actions are known by the universe, and there is no escaping the consequences of violating its laws. There are millions and possibly billions of people on earth who think they can achieve spiritual freedom or stop the crimes against humanity by ignoring what the dark forces and their new world order are doing with their great reset, where you will own nothing and be happy. These people are living in a delusional world and are actually making it nearly 8 billion times easier for the dark forces to enslave humanity. If you want to prevent the dark forces from enslaving humanity, you need to first become aware of what they are doing so you can say no to their actions and agendas and remove your consent. I personally have come to understand that to be a true change agent, we need to tap into empowering narratives that inspire others to question every conventional story plot, thus tapping into the innate compulsion to become a visionary leader in our own right, getting us to see well beyond the present and prompt us to take meaningful action. I passionately believe that it is our personal responsibility to find a way out of our self-created hell. Hell is believing that someone or some great power outside ourselves is going to lift us out of our misery. That's not going to happen. Instead, what we need to do is to listen to the universe to discover what we are most compelled to do. We have free will because we have the choice to listen to what our lives are telling us we are meant to do. We exercise our free will when we pay attention to what we are drawn towards naturally. Alternatively, we can fight it and suffer the consequences. To exercise our free will, we must make the commitment to move towards what we love to do. We must move towards what we are meant to contribute to this world. Self-mastery comes about only after we take total responsibility for our own lives and understand that there is no such thing as a failure, that there is only feedback. Everything in life is a learning experience to be cherished. We must be willing to spend the time to discover, learn, and then earn life's wisdom. Your silence implies consent. It is imperative that you loudly speak your truths. Humanity's future depends on you finding your voice. In a world dominated by pre-approved groupthink, it's tough to shake off the chains of conformity and see the world with fresh eyes. As those who have ventured outside the accepted mainstream narratives will tell you, questioning the narrative feels like being Neo and stepping out of the Matrix. The reaction from others is seldom welcoming. Actually, it could be dangerous if you don't have strategies to survive. In my own journey of breaking free from societal programming over the past few years, I've realized that confronting someone head on about their belief system that are often not their own can be counterproductive and outright dangerous. It reminds me of the Tao Te Ching saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Or, as Kenny Rogers wisely put it, you've got to know when to hold 'em and know when to fold 'em. How do you navigate these dangerous times, helping others awaken without putting yourself in harm's way? Here are some strategies I've gathered. Trust your intuition. I interviewed Dr. Patrick Moore, an original founder of Greenpeace, in the summer of 2022. A staunch supporter of carbon and nuclear energy, he diverged from the popular views of his organization, resulting in public backlash. When I asked him how he discerned genuine inquiries from those with malicious intent, his answer was simple: intuition. According to Moore, our intuition is a divine gift, offering rapid insights that our cognitive mind cannot. Following that instinctual response and then validating it with logical scrutiny has kept him resolute and secure amidst attacks. Love and suspend judgment. Breaking away from entrenched beliefs is akin to deprogramming from a cult. To aid this transition, it's vital to offer understanding and a safe space free from judgment. By empathizing with their experiences and recalling your own awakening journey, you can provide the necessary comfort and support during their time of doubt and then awakening. Provoke thought through questioning. Directly challenging someone's strongly held programming can be confrontational and often backfires. Instead, engage them with open-ended questions, guiding them to spot inconsistencies and paradoxes in their own thinking. This subtle approach plants seeds of doubt without triggering defensiveness. Over time, these seeds might just sprout, leading them to question and potentially change their paradigm of reality. Remember that waking up is a process, not an event. As one of my teachers once said, whether a child learns to read on a Monday or a Friday is inconsequential. What matters is that they learn to read. Similarly, be patient with those on their own journey towards enlightenment. While we need them in this fight for a better and safer future, rushing their awakening might do more harm than good. Always approach with compassion, understanding, and a safe strategic mindset. Am I perfect? Do I have all the answers to life's big questions? No. I am guilty for much of my life. I filled my world with distractions and noise. I know firsthand that it's easy to overlook the profound significance embedded in every moment we experience. What if I told you that I have discovered that significance isn't just a fleeting sensation? It's a guiding force that can change and enrich every aspect of our lives. For me, significance, what I have learned throughout my life, isn't just a concept. It's a visceral experience that resonates in my bones, muscles, and gut. It's the invisible thread that connects me to the world around me, infusing every encounter, every word spoken, every experience with deep meaning. I've made it a promise to myself to seek out and celebrate the significance in everything I encounter, whether it's the pages of a captivating book, a chance encounter with a stranger, or a simple act of kindness. I work to be conscious and to strive to honor that internal emotion that arises when I recognize significance as it enters my life. Significance isn't confined to grand gestures or profound revelations. It's everywhere, all the time. It's woven into the fabric of everyday life, waiting for each of us to discover it in the seemingly mundane moments. It's in the laughter shared with loved ones, the beauty of a sunrise, the quiet moments we sit in nature, and a hug from my children. For years, I labeled myself an atheist, blind to the subtle presence of something greater than myself. Then a wise man opened my eyes to the undeniable proof of God all around us. God, or whatever name you choose to define the infinite, the undefinable, isn't confined to the walls of a religious building or the pages of some holy book. God is in the whisper of the wind, the rustle of leaves, the beating of our own hearts, and the love we feel for our children. True significance can't be defined. It can only be felt. It lingers long after we have felt it. That, to me, is how, over time, I have chosen to define what is significant in my life. I have discovered that embracing significance isn't just about recognizing the divine in the world. It's about cultivating a deep sense of appreciation for the gift of life itself. It's about pausing, even for just a moment, to acknowledge the significance of our existence and the beauty that surrounds us. Here I challenge you to stop, breathe, and feel the significance pulsating through every moment of your life. Whether you're navigating a challenging day or reveling in moments of excitement, take the time to recognize the profound significance inherent in simply being alive and the significance of this moment. Why does it matter? Because your life matters. Ask yourself again, what if this was the most significant moment in your life? Are you going to miss out on it? What are you going to do with this moment? Now, go climb your mountain. I await you on the other side. Peter J. Merrick, A.K.A. Old Fart, still working on getting it right.